Today I've got for you the best creatine brands and products that will provide you with the creatine you need to help you build muscle, get stronger, and improve your overall health. Now I'm only picking 5 just to make this video a little shorter, and I will include a gummy even though I'm not a fan of them, and I'll tell you why in just a second. As always, all the links will be down below, and I'm going to go in reverse order. So number 5, creatine. We're going to look at the gummy first. It is this Zoe brand of creatine gummies. Now, why this particular brand? If you are aware of what is going on in the creatine gummy space, it is not great. There is a lot of fudging of products where a lot of gummies don't actually have creatine in them. Now, this table I'm going to put up here is by Now Foods. They did an independent testing of various creatine gummies. This particular one actually passed. So each gummy should have around 1.6 grams of creatine because it is 3 gummies for 1 serving to equal a 5-gram serving. And it actually had 2 grams. So it was tested to have more creatine than actually what is on the label, which means they're actually putting creatine in their gummies. So if you want to go the gummy route, I would recommend something like this over some other brands, just because you know there's actually creatine in there. Now, overall, I'm not a fan of gummies because 1, they cost a lot more. This particular bag will cost you, at the time of filming this video, $31.49, which gives you 20 servings, so not even a month. And it's going to cost you $1.57 per serving. So you have to buy 2 bags of this just to last you a month so you can take it every day. Whereas with the powder, you can get much bigger options, which I'm going to show you in just a second. So generally, gummies are going to cost you more. And you have the addition of, in this example, 15 grams of carbohydrates in every serving. If you are on a strict diet, or you just don't want to add to your caloric total through taking creatine gummies, then I would avoid. But if you're a gummy person, go with this brand. So let's look at number 4. And that is this one by Jacked Factory. They're plain creatine monohydrate. Now, the reason I'm including Jacked Factory is because it actually is the same company as Transparent Labs, who will appear later in this video too. But it would be good just to show you a comparison of the 2 companies. Now, Jacked Factory is almost their quote-unquote budget version of Transparent Labs. So I'm assuming they use a lot of the same ingredient, but just price it differently, essentially. But this is actually really good value for creatine. It comes in at $29.99 for this 85 servings, which comes 35 cents per serving. Probably one of the cheaper creatine supplements, not the cheapest, but definitely up there. Now, the reason, or one of the reasons it is so cheap, is that it is not sourced from Pure. When you're looking at a creatine monohydrate supplement, you want to find supplements and brands that source their creatine from Pure because it is tested to be 99.9% pure, which means you're not going to have other issues with contaminants. That doesn't mean that this creatine isn't high quality. It just means that it's not the highest quality in terms of its sourcing. But it is great value. It is just plain creatine powder with nothing added to it. So you add it to your smoothies, you can dry scoop it, whatever you do with your creatine, this is a pretty good option. Now this brings me to the 3rd best pick for creatine powder brand, and it's bulk supplements. You've probably seen bulk supplements. They essentially just go straight to raw ingredient. You won't be able to find any pre-formulated mixes on the website. It's literally just the ingredients in a bag with different sizes. And as you buy more in bulk, the cheaper it gets. So for example, this creatine monohydrate is a 1 kg bag, which means you have a 200-day supply. So taking you most of the, and that comes through $29.97, which is about 18 cents per serving, which is essentially my budget pick. If you are on a tight budget, you can buy bulk supplements creatine in bulk as well, and does the job. Same problem as Jacked Factory though, not sourced from Pure, but they do have a clean certificate of analysis, which I will throw on the screen as well, which every supplement company will have for their supplement. Now, the one issue with them is not actually the product itself, it's also the packaging. For example, this bag is completely ruined where it just won't connect anymore. So if you're opening it every day, because it's a large packet and it lasts a long time, you will find this seal ends up breaking. So you're gonna have to find another way to store it. So bear that in mind as well. Which brings me to pick number 2, our runner-up, and that is Transparent Labs, creatine HMB. Now, ignore the HMB, I'm going to touch on that in a second. But the reason Transparent Labs, at least this particular one, comes in number 2 is because it has the Informed Choice stamp on it. And this Informed Choice stamp means that it is tested for banned substances. So if you are a competitive athlete who is subjected to random drug testing, you want to make sure you find a supplement that has something like this Informed Choice or Informed Sport. There's a few different badges that companies will use. And that means they actually send a batch of their product off to be tested for supplements that will be banned under WADA, and therefore you don't pop for a positive drug test because of a supplement you took. So that is something always to be aware of. If you're not a competitive athlete who is undergoing drug testing, then you probably don't need to worry about it as much, because many form choice supplements cost a little more because obviously it's another expense for the company. Now you get this with 30 servings, essentially a month's supply, but it's going to run you a little more expensive than other creatine supplements. It's going to be $49.99, which comes to $1.67 per serving. So it's not exactly cheap. And I think the reason it's not exactly cheap is because they've added the HMB as well. And while it is a thoughtful thing to do, HMB is kind of a sham supplement in itself. So the studies actually looking at HMB and its effects on muscle growth show muscle growth from HMB greater than using steroids, which already raises some red flags. Then you can go deeper into those studies and you can see the funding behind them, and you can see why HMB may not be what it's claimed to be. But with that aside, it's a relatively good creatine supplement. Again, I believe their creatine used to be sourced from Creapure and it no longer is. So you're still not getting the Creapure creatine from this brand. However, you are getting one that is free of banned substances. And if you like flavored creatine, their flavors are really damn nice. This particular one is blue raspberry. It's easily one of my favorites. Which brings me to the #1 creatine brand. And of course, it has to be the Lift Big, Eat Big, 100% pure, Creapure creatine monohydrates. So Lift Big, Eat Big creatine, it is sourced from Creapure, which means it is 99.9% pure. It is pure plain powder. So all you're getting in there is creatine. You're getting 50 servings, depending on the subscription or the one-time price. It's either $39.99 or $35.10 for the subscription. If you use the discount code down below, YT10, that'll get you another 10% off. So instead of it being 66 cents to 80 cents per serving, you're looking at slightly cheaper with that discount code. Again, just being pure plain creatine powder, put it in your smoothies, dry strip it, whatever you want to do, and you're good to go. It's one of the higher quality creatine supplements and probably one of the better priced that are using Creapure. So that rounds out the top 5 creatine monohydrate brand. Make sure to check everything down in the description and the first link in the comment, and I'll see you in some more reviews.